There are too many things to say about such an accomplished man as Randy Travis. Besides his impressive music career, which explores genres such as country and gospel, Randy is also an experienced actor, a songwriter, and a Hall of Fame honoree. With a career which extends to over 4 decades, dozens of popular released albums, and an impressive filmography, Randy Travis is without doubt one of the most prolific personalities of his time, and seeing how far he's come with his talent and charisma alone, it's almost hard to believe the numerous issues he went through in his early life. Stay with us to know all about Randy Travis' life, including his beginnings, family, issues, career, and all the things which make him so great. Born on 4 May 1959 under the name of Randy Bruce Trawick in a small North Carolina town, the young Randy was strongly encouraged to walk a path in music, despite the modest social status of his family of farmers. Following the influence of the likes of Hank Williams and Lefty Frizzell, Randy learned to play guitar and sing when he was 10 years old, giving his earliest performances as part of the family's church choir. At some point, Randy and his brother Rick formed the Trawick Brothers, but Randy's recurrent arguments with his father Harold resulted in a rebellious attitude during his teens. When only 15 years old, Randy dropped out of high school and committed several juvenile crimes. Randy's life took a turn when he was 16 years old and won a talent contest in a famous North Carolina nightclub. The club owner was a woman named Elizabeth Hatcher, who hired Randy as a cook and also took him under her wing music-wise, even taking his guardianship after his repeated run-ins with the law almost put him in jail. Randy signed his first music contract with Paula Records in 1978 under the guidance of his now manager, Elizabeth Hatcher. Although his debut single, Dreamin', didn't enter any charts, the following She's My Woman was his first entry in the Hot Country charts, though it peaked at number 91. In the early 1980s, Randy moved to Nashville with Hatcher, with whom he promptly began a relationship, despite the fact that she was 19 years his senior. The pair had already been living together back in North Carolina, though their relationship back then was professional, only due to the fact she was married at the time. Then in Nashville, and with no prospects of a new music contract coming his way, Randy went back to his roots as a cook at the Nashville Palace Live venue, where he also sometimes sang. It wasn't until Randy's producer Keith Stegall handed his tape to Kyle Lenning, who grew captivated by Randy's style and music, then convinced a Warner Bros. Records executive to sign him. That marked the beginning of everything for Randy, who in 1985 released the singles On the Other Hand and 1982, of which the former was a re-release and became his first #1. Randy's first studio album, Storms of Life, was released under his new name Randy Travis and made him a renowned artist in the industry by selling 3 million copies overall, gaining multi-platinum certification, and his breakthrough in the country music industry. Following the success of his debut album, his second album, Always and Forever, released in 1987, topped the charts by selling over 5 million copies, becoming 5 times multi-platinum. The album's singles also became #1s, eventually winning Randy his first Grammy in the Best Male Country Vocal Performance category that year. Randy's following 3 albums, Old 8x10, No Holdin' Back, and Heroes and Friends, went on to similar achievements by topping the US charts. However, the latter was Randy's only album in the 1990s to reach #1, as High Lonesome from 1991 peaked at 3 on the charts, and A Man Ain't Made of Stone from 1999 didn't even enter the top 20. The 1990s not only brought changes to Randy's life professionally, but also saw him tying the knot with Elizabeth Hatcher in 1991, though their relationship had been kept a secret before that. According to an interview with People in 1994, keeping that big secret about his life was draining. It drove me nuts, especially as it went on. I've always been truthful about everything. The drugs, the alcohol, the fights, he lamented at the time. Even though Randy's music popularity was on the wane in the 1990s, the decade saw him exploring his talents on the small and big screens. While Randy's earliest TV appearances were of his performances in shows such as Sesame Street, The year 1994 saw him debuting on the big screen as Speedy in the film Outlaws: The Legend of Obi Taggart. Throughout the 1990s to late 2000, it wasn't unusual for Randy to make cameos or play small roles in series such as Matlock and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and star in the romantic drama A Holiday to Remember, and in his TV movie Wind in the Wire, which was named after his 1993 album. The later also prompted him to stop his music career for a while to film it. Randy also appeared in several other movies, including The Rainmaker in 1997, Texas Rangers in 2001, and The Wager in 2007. Overall, Randy appeared in over 20 films and series and voiced numerous animated characters as well, eventually gaining a Hollywood Walk of Fame star in 2004 for all his contributions to the entertainment industry. Although Randy Travis kept on charting albums and songs throughout the 1990s, his streak of no number ones extended until he changed his brand to Christian music. Although his gospel music debut album, Inspirational Journey, didn't chart highly upon its 2000 release, his following album Rise and Shine, released in 2002, was certified gold in the US and included the #1 single 3 Wooden Crosses. The 2003 album, Worship and Faith, peaked at #4 on the charts, and a similar rise followed his next albums, Passing Through and Around the Bend. While Randy's change of brand to Christian music didn't put any of his albums back on the top of country music charts, it did a good job at gaining him several awards, which had become less usual for him in the 1990s. From 2000, Randy won 4 Grammys, including 2 in the Best Southern, Country, or Bluegrass Gospel Album category, in 2005 and 2007. Randy also became a regular nominee and winner of the Gospel Music Association-owned Dove Awards, which so far has rewarded him in the categories of Bluegrass Album of the Year and Country Song of the Year. The 2010s saw Randy Travis facing some of the hardest times of his life. Firstly, in 2010, he and his first wife, Elizabeth Hatcher, divorced, putting an end to their professional relationship as well. In 2012, Randy had 2 run-ins with the law. In February, he was arrested for public intoxication after being found drunk in his car near a church in Texas. Later in August, Randy was arrested again after reportedly being found drunk lying on a sidewalk, sporting cuts, a black eye, and wearing no clothes. Early on that day, he reportedly crashed his car in a construction area and was also seen naked, shopping at a local store. Randy was arrested for driving under the influence, and a charge of retaliation was added later for threatening police officers after his arrest. He was ultimately fined $2,000 and sentenced to probation for 2 years. The year 2013 didn't get any better for Randy, who in July was hospitalized for treatment of a respiratory infection, and later that week suffering a stroke which had him connected to life support machines and then undergoing surgery. After being released from the hospital later in the month, Randy received physical therapy to help him recover his ability to sing and move certain parts of his body. Following this incident, Randy's career was halted for years, and he made rare public appearances. Resulting from his decades-long career as a singer, musician, and songwriter, Randy Travis was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2016. This honor was granted to him not only for the impressive number of hits in his career, but also for changing the face of country music, as reported by the Tennessean back then. He chose a career he was hoping he could make a difference in. That career made a difference in him, as his second wife, Mary Davis Travis, said back then. In the ceremony, Randy was unable to talk much. While Randy's career is vastly different nowadays than it was before his stroke in 2013, he works on projects from time to time. In 2019, his Forever and Ever Amen autobiography was released, followed by his 2020 album, Precious Memories, the celebration of his 35th anniversary as a Grand Ole Opry member, and was named Artist of a Lifetime by Country Music Television. Overall, Randy Travis is a man who's known the hardships of life both during his rebellious teenage years and in illness and alcoholism, but also learned the joys brought to him by his talent and success. He's an inspiration for his fans and many people in the industry, and will hopefully continue being so for years to come.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.